Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, collection review for Jeremy. Jeremy is 38 years old, living in Singapore, and he in his 20s he was wearing a Casio G-Shock, very practical for his work as a flight steward, and now he got reacquainted with watches in recent times, as he is working as a senior executive in a large hospitality company in Singapore. He's wearing a suit every day, and was kind of told that maybe he should consider having something nice on the wrist. You know, Singapore, like Hong Kong, big watch cities, and he got into it. He's telling me that he's always considering how the watch should wear from a sartorial standpoint first, and then functionality, which is in the end the same for even the geekest of geeks. You still want to, you buy the watch because it looks great first, and then you worry about all the mechanicals, all the geeky stuff. He says, I have mentally segregated my watches into the following categories: office watch, casual t-shirt watch, going out smart casual watch, travel and adventure watch. He's got fairly large wrists, above 7 inches, and he says he bought his first serious watch at the end of 2019, a Grand Seiko SBGR 001 for $3,000, I'm guessing 2,000 Singapore dollar. Then the bug really bit him. He started studying the watches, looking at the YouTube channels, visiting the dealers there in Singapore, and he since traded out of the Grand Seiko, and he's put together just a wonderful three-piece collection. I hope, just like me, you enjoy just looking at those three pieces. It just turned out fantastic, and sometimes you don't want to disturb the karma of such a perfect, concise, quality collection where everything just works perfectly. Anyway, he's got number one, a Rolex Datejust 16014 silver linen dial with a Jubilee band. Around January 2020, he says, I bought it off a very famous Rolex collector for $3,800. Based on the serial number, it's from 1980, 1981 perhaps, which is older than he is. And he wears this the most as his daily work watch. It slips under the cuff, but it's still in very good condition with a lot of scratches. You know, scratches on those watches. It gives it gives the character of the watch. The dial is beautiful and versatile. It changes color with the light situation, and still keeps decent time. You know, if you need to have it serviced. Those are older watches. Just don't give it to Rolex, of course. Just give it to ask advice from one of the dealers. Just go to a classic place. If you come to Hong Kong, bring it to a classic watch repair, for example. They'll take good care of it. If the bracelet needs a bit of care, maybe it's a bit too stretched, they can take care of that. They are the bracelet specialists, and they will respect the vintage aspect of the watch. So he says that he gets comments that the watch is too small, but he wears it in the spirit of Mad Men, you know, and in that era, men would wear 34, 32 millimeter watches even, and 36 really for the modern man. It is not that small. You just gotta wear it for a few days, and then you get used to it. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's all in the attitude. And he says sometimes he wears it on a strap to change it around a little bit, and that watch will be in his collection forever. Wonderful, beautiful 16014. I love that linen dial. I think it's a wonderful choice there. Number two, we have an Omega Speedmaster Professional 145.0022. So he got that in April when Singapore was on a lockdown. He was forced to work from home, and with that, lots of time to look around the market. In Singapore, they have that app Carousel, which I use a lot in Hong Kong to buy, sell watches. And he studied more the watches, and the dealer where he got his Grand Seiko had this nice Speedy on consignment, so he traded up from the Grand Seiko to that one. It was listed at $5,800. I think we're talking Singapore dollars, and he barely lost anything on the GS, and the rest was cash. So it has become his jeans and T-shirt watch. The watch serial is 48 million, or so around the early 90s. So he loves the fact that the indices on the watch dial have turned to a nice cream, giving it a nice contrast. Indeed, 90s watches, they still do that. After 2000, usually, you would have a superluminova that is not fading like that. He wears this usually on a NATO, and he loves the winding of the Speedmaster. You know, I love mine, this connection. It's a great feel. And he doesn't keep time very well, but he doesn't care. You know, just bring it to Omega, tell them no polishing, no replacing anything, just take care of the movement. It could be that it's magnetized if it runs a bit too fast. Mine was magnetized. It was only running 20 seconds fast, enough to be a bit of a bother for me, and they took care of it in one day. Omega service, at least in Hong Kong, is very good, so hopefully you get the same service over there, and otherwise you can bring it to independent as well. Number 3, Rolex GMT Master II 16710, the last of the pre-ceramics. He got this watch at the end of December last year, so fairly recent love affair with the watch. From a reputable second-hand dealer, paid 14,500, that's Singapore dollar, so it's going to be 30% less in US dollars. That's his Grail watch, and he says, yeah, in Singapore, like in Hong Kong, many on the market, but he took his time to find the one where the bezel really caught his eyes. And that, I found the same, you know, I was shopping for one for a while, and sometimes it's a bit too bright, or you don't like the blue, or it's not quite the right fade on the red. And the watch condition is very good. Serial is F series, no pinhole. So yeah, I would say mid 2000s. And he wears this when he goes on date nights, as well as occasionally at the office. You know, you can wear it all the time, just to switch it out with the Datejust. And he's trying to source a period correct Jubilee bracelet. Unfortunately, I can't recommend you anything. I'm not really well versed in that. If in Hong Kong, I would definitely ask the classic watch repair. I would ask the vintage concept, and I would ask London watches. Those are probably the three dealers that could help you source what you're looking for there. There's many other places where you can find them. If you can travel to Hong Kong, go to Yomate, and probably you will find one fairly easily. Of course, it's always a minefield, you know, but it's not that old, the 16710, compared to other models. And also, you're looking for the black and coke bezel to change it up. You know, you can also get the all black, so you would have a lot of different looks. It's cost more than before, but yeah, great way to change the look of the watch, and easy to change. So yeah, you say it could be your ultimate one watch. If you decided to sell everything minus the Datejust. No, don't sell the Speedy. Speedy is gorgeous. You've got a Speedy. Stick to it. Now, where is this going? Jeremy is telling me for the future he's targeting a Jaeger-LeCoultre Grand Sport Reverso chronograph with the retrograde minutes. You might have seen that watch on my channel. So I had the black dial one, and he's looking for the white dial one. Bit hard to find, but I saw one actually here in Hong Kong a couple of years ago, and that could be his next office watch. So those have a great, very comfortable bracelet. They would be in keeping with that neo-vintage look of the collection, because they're from the early 2000s. Great bracelet, amazing clasp, over-engineered dual deployant clasp with the 2 extension links. Just look it up on my channel. And so my review inspired him. So yeah, very cool watch. White dial is going to be very fresh, very cool. Also looking at another watch that I purchased recently, the Tudor Prince Date chronograph, Tiger or the non-Tiger. You can choose between the more expensive one, the older ones, the block ones which had Rolex parts, or the newer ones. Well, they're still discontinued, but let's say early 2000s. the Tiger ones with the rounded cases. Lots of very cool, funky colors. You also like the Tudor Monte Carlo blue. And besides the above, asking my opinion, should he consider affordable pieces like the Seiko GMT? No. Turtle or SKX? Yeah, why not? Turtle, it's a classic look from the 60s. I've always liked that shape. Rather than a turtle, I mean, the turtle would suit the size of your wrist, but look also at the Willard reissue, and in particular the SLA 033 if you want something of real quality that respects the original look and has a good movement in it. That could be a great watch for traveling and all that. SKX, always great, costs nothing. Put it on the Jubilee, that's what I do, that's how I love it. And also has that great look. Can never go wrong, doesn't cost anything. Apart from that, you're mentioning the Citizen Bullhead, Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical, or Maurice Lacroix Icon. No, that would ruin your collection. You're thinking, oh yeah, I can add it, it's not going to change my collection, but yes it does, because your collection looks so good right now. It is so even. I really love the unity of it. I wouldn't add an Icon or a Khaki or a Citizen. So you want a travel and adventure watch down the road when traveling comes back. And yeah, he hopes we can meet up, say hi when he comes to Hong Kong. All right, thank you so much, Jeremy, for sharing that beautiful collection. And let me share with you a few thoughts that would be, I think, what would be great for you for a travel and adventure watch. So yeah, we've gone over the Seiko. I think the Turtle, the Willard, or the SKX. That could be nice if you choose the right one. It is in keeping with a sort of neo-vintage look. Even the SKX, put it on the little Seiko Jubilee. I think it's a cool watch, but I think we want to look a bit at keeping the quality, because your three pieces are quality, and there we are really scraping the bottom. Yeah, the SLA 033 would be nice. The GLC white dial Grand Sport, very cool, great bracelet. The Tudor Prince Date Chrono, very cool as well, not as cool as your Speedy from the 90s, but quite cool. Yeah, choose well the model, choose well the type of bezel that you want. The last digit would be if it's a 79-200 series, the 80 is gonna have the fixed steel bezel. The 60 will have the black bezel, and the 70 will have rotating GMT bezel. They're cool. Not sure it's as cool as what you have. It might be a bit too much to add that. Where I would go if I was you would be first thought that came to me was an Omega diver. The vintage ones, I really love them, but if you want something that's a bit more usable, that still have all the practicalities of modern life, Omega still has you covered. So in the picture I have here on the top, you have the vintage ones, and I think that the ones that would capture that spirit would be at the lower budget, the Omega Planet Ocean 2500, the first issue of it, the first edition of it. I really like the hands, the indices, the overall look of the watch. It's not going to be too thick because it's still pretty much an ETA reworked inside of it. I think those can be had around 2500 US. Very cool watch. Now if you double that budget, I would go for the Speedmaster 300 60th anniversary. That one is a recreation of the original one, and they put a bit of faux patina on the hands and the indices, which is going to marry well with the rest of your collection, but it's going to be a very usable watch that you can really enjoy in your travel, and it's going to have all the modern upgrades, of course, modern movement and all that. And I think that would still marry quite well with the spirit of your collection. You don't want something too modern. You don't want to have the new Speedmaster or anything. Of course, We can also look at the super classic from Rolex 5513 if you want vintage, but you know, any Rolex, I would say pre-ceramic 5-digit would be cool. Also look at the Sea Dweller 5-digit, all the way up maybe to the one I have, the 116600 for very collectible, but it's quite expensive. It's very specific. I think I would prefer you to find a good condition Submariner 4 or 5-digit reference, and maybe find one that can still go in the water so you can use it at the beach. Another cool watch is the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, the Barracuda that just came out. I think those colors would look pretty neat in your collection. It's something a bit different, and it's a fairly big watch, so it would suit your wrist size quite well, and would round up a very nice collection. To be honest, you don't need to do anything to your collection, but yeah, if you want to add something with a bit of waterproofness, because your 3 watches are getting a bit old, even if you replace the seals, there might be a bit of pitting in the case. You never know. You don't want to take that GMT 16710 in the water, although it's not one of the older ones. Have it checked by properly, regularly. Otherwise, yeah, I would keep that out of the water. So I think, yeah, the Barracuda has a lot of charm. A Rolex 5-digit, 4-digit if you can afford it, would have a lot of charm. And that Speedmaster 60th anniversary edition, I think that'd be cool, because it would be, then you would have 2 Omega and 2 Rolex, 2 and 2, like those odds, in a collection. You would have just a perfect collection. I wouldn't really bother too much with anything of a lower value. Just get something really nice that you can go to the beach and travel with. Alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for asking me for this review, sharing with us those great pictures. I really love your collection as it is, and just get something a bit functional. Just one more watch. Just add one more, because if you add too much, it just takes away from the beauty of a well thought out collection. Alright, thanks guys, thanks Jeremy, bye bye.